Welcome to the first episode of Positively Pink and Psychological with your host, Miss Sugar Pink. If you can notice, my mic is a doll of me. I actually thrifted this for like $1 or something with my grandma at the flea market, and then I micro crocheted her little outfit to look like me. And if you're watching this, you probably have already seen it because you probably already know who I am. But that's okay because I've come to realize recently that I hold myself back from a lot of decisions because I sit and I wonder and I think like, "Oh, that would be so cool. That'd be so cool." And then I never do it because I get like enough of a dopamine rush or a serotonin rush or whatever from just thinking about it and being like, period. Good job for thinking about that. Or maybe it's the fear of if I never make it, I never can fail at making it. I can always just live in the potential of the idea in my mind. So I never take the risk on actually doing it. And recently, I've really reaped the consequences of that because about 2 years ago, I came up with the idea, and granted, it probably was done before, but like I came up with the idea of like doing a plush taxidermy. I found, and like, because I was at a thrift store and I found a Beanie Baby butterfly, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was with my sister. I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cute if I put it and I made like a plush bug taxidermy of it. Like, I should do it. So I bought it. That's sitting in a box somewhere. And I go on my For You page because recently I've been fucking on my phone, which is like amazing, and I see that someone did it. And they did it in like the exact style that I probably would have done it. And if not a little bit better because they tried and they actually did it. And I sat there and I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's so amazing. And then I thought, that could have been me. Like if I sat down and I had actually done it, that could have been me. But it wasn't because I sat and I would think about, I just got off on just the idea of it. So it got worse. It got worse when I was like, okay, well, that's okay. You know what I'm going to do instead? Also, probably not like the most original idea ever, but I haven't seen it yet, so maybe it is make a plush Beanie Baby frog because I happen to find one in my collection of like random stuff, and I can make it look like it's being dissected, but I make it look really cute. Like, it's like dissection is like really adorable. And you know what she fucking posts? The same idea. So, parallel thinking can be the death of you if you never take the risk, if you never live. And my boyfriend talked to me like a few months ago, and he was just like, I was talking to him, I was like, wow, like I want to go on like a spontaneous trip to New York and get this tattoo from this artist I really like. I just want to do it. And he was like, then do it. And I was just like what? He's like, then do it, then go, then plan it, then figure it out. And he looked at me and he was like, you don't do anything. Like, you are so amazing and you're so creative and you think of all these ideas and you're so outgoing, but you don't do that. You just He was like, you had the whole summer off of work because I work at a school, and he's like, you had two classes and you saved all this money so you would have a fun summer. And he's like, I bet you put all that back in savings. And he was right. I didn't do anything. I'm 20 and I don't do anything. So when I came up with this idea to start this podcast, I was just like, I'm going to do it because I have cut my own wings my own wings off so many times. For what? Like a sadistic feeling of like, oh man, like, oh, that could have been me. I should have done that, or some sort of atonement for gifted kid syndrome of like always feeling like I had to reach for something. I'm always reaching for something. So I put myself in a deeper hole so I could have to reach for something. Oh, I could have been me. I could have done that. I have all these ideas. I didn't do it. And I just like realized that I could just get out of the hole. No one is making me sit in that hole but me. And I did. And it's interesting because I sat and I thought, and I wasn't even worried about like, oh, whatever, people from high school are gonna see this, or people I used to be friends with are gonna see this, and they're gonna say things to each other about it, or they're gonna say things to me about it, or whatever. But honestly, it's not much different than how those people treated me when we were friends, when I had a relationship with them. So it it doesn't matter. That's not even what was holding me back. It was like this weird feeling of unknown. Like I would sit there and I would think and be like, oh well, what if I start doing this and someone has some crazy blackmail on me? And then like, oh, what if I start getting like the smallest bit of traction and they take that opportunity to use that over me? And it's just like, God damn, like just breathe. Just breathe. And this video is probably going to be seen by my 3 people in my life. But it's better than it living in my head. So I took the chance and I started it because I'm 20. And oh, that's amazing. I got my associate's degree in high school and I'm going to university for psychology and I have a bright future and I'm graduating this May and I'm graduating all this like earlier, all this stuff. And wow, it's so amazing. You get your bachelor's at 20. But for the longest time, I would think, well, I could have gotten at 19. I could have gotten at 19. If I didn't take those 2 semesters off, I could have gotten at 19. And it's just like, it's this never ending cycle of shaming myself or putting myself down or not letting myself do anything. It's like I have been calling myself an artist for as long as I can remember, but I barely have any art to share. Like I look at this wall and this is unfortunately a lot of it. It's not the future. I mean, it's not the truth as much now. I think I've gotten a little bit better about it. This past like 6 months, I've been like really aware of that and I've started to change my behaviors. But in the past, like I would really think I'd be like, for the longest time, it would, oh, you're an artist? Let me see your work. I had nothing. I had nothing. Nothing to share. So I started this gallery wall about like a year or two ago, or like a year ago. And this is a painting I did of myself as Chapel Roan that I never finished. I never finished it. I look at it and I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, this is like one of like this is the best thing I've made thus far. Like this is I'm at my peak right now. Like I can keep going up from here. And then I started thinking, oh well, I can't finish it now because what if I ruin it? What if I make a mistake on it? What if I like what if I try to make something else and it doesn't get better? So I need to keep this in the middle stage because I can always think like, oh well, I never finished it. So it's still my peak, but like it could be better. Like I just would shame myself out of it because I started putting like a boa on it, but I didn't. I had a necklace I was gonna put on it too because I didn't want to paint one. I wanted to have 3D features. I wanted to put lights on it. Do we see any of those things? So here I am with a mic I bought off Facebook Marketplace and my iPad Pro and this gallery wall I already started and some Five Below Piletti party backdrop. Because even if no one sees this, and even if I talk to myself once a week for months, at least I'm getting somewhere. At least I'm doing something with my life. It's one thing to have a career, to be successful in school, to be an amazing student like I am, to be a TA, to move up, to have a job that you're good at and your boss tells you so. And it's one thing to be happy. I have an amazing boyfriend and I have some friends, I have a community, and I have a job I like and a boss I can agree with. And I do well in school and I've made a lot of opportunities for myself and I have time, which is a privilege that a lot of people don't have. And I just I just couldn't be happy for the longest time. And granted, meeting my boyfriend was definitely a big factor that helped. He wasn't the reason I am happy because I'm a very independent person. I met him at a time that I was ready to, and I was starting to become happy at the time that I met him, and which is why I think that everything aligned and we did meet. Because even though I'm someone who constantly shames himself and finds all the problems and situations and holds herself back, I'm very aware of it. Like, so much aware I shame myself into being like, oh, it's all in your head. Like, get out of it. You need to think about it. Like, come on, just move out of it. And then it gets worse. But it works in my favor in some ways because I think if I met my boyfriend 2 months, 3 months before I did, I think a month, even a month, I think it wouldn't have worked out. I think I would have left him. I think I would have been scared and we wouldn't be where we are now. We wouldn't be this happy and fulfilled. And I think about that and I think about how amazing that is. And then I think about how when I was 18, I knew I needed to drop out of school, even though I was doing great in school and I had plenty of friends and I was going to the school that I wanted to, that I dreamed of, that I worked for. I was there. I was having the college life. I was 18. I was free. I was what I thought was happy. I was excited. But I woke up and I remember it's like winter break and I was like, I think I'm struggling. I think I'm not happy like I think I am. I'm just convincing myself I am. And by spring break, I knew I wasn't. I was dreading to going back, dreading to live the way that I was. And granted, part of it was because I was malnourished, because I was a vegetarian and I was accidentally not eating enough, which was partly not my fault because my dining hall just stopped having vegetarian options, even though they advertised that they would, and all of fall semester they did. But I was so unhappy, and I went back to school and I was struggling, but I made it out. Like, I remember calling my mom and being like, I gotta drop out. Like, I can't do this. I don't know what to do with myself. I have to drop out. And I think it was hard for my family. It was hard for me to move back. A lot of things happened, but I think that the only reason we are the way we are now is because I moved out for a year and I moved back. I think my perspective changed a lot. And I'm at first I was really hard on myself about failing is what I thought, that I dropped out of school and I failed. But when I think about it now, I was 18 and I was scared and I admitted it. And instead of being egotistical or having too much pride and getting to the point of so much burnout that I flunked out and I failed, I left before that happened. I left with an opportunity to come back and that's what I did. I at the time I thought I was dropping out back in 2024, spring of 2024, but I went back spring of 2025. And I think about that and I think about how I need to trust myself more often than I do. I think it's really hard with anxiety. Like right now I'm thinking about how is if this is possibly recording or not, so I'm going to double check. And it is. And it is. Like I need I need to believe that everything is going to be okay. That not everything is out to get me because that's how I met my boyfriend. You know, I met my boyfriend at the gym because I went up to him And at the time, it was a really hard time for me. It wasn't, not in the way that you're thinking, not in the way that I was stressed. I was unhappy. People were mean to me. I my family problems, nothing like that. It was just a time I was in my head. I took a huge detox from my phone and social media, and I was just kind of thinking a lot to myself. I was very retrospective, and I journaled every single morning, and I did yoga all the time, and it was just like this very white girl awakening. And I remember being at the gym, and I was like, because I had been thinking around that time, like those past like few days, I was like, oh, I need to get over this crippling fear of men that I have. Like, it's affecting my day to day life and my happiness. Like, I need to get it under wraps. Like, I think it's a valid fear of mine, and I definitely have gotten way better with it, or I wouldn't have a boyfriend right now. I think it's okay to have lines and boundaries, and the reality is I'm not comfortable about men, and I don't want a male doctor or a male therapist or a male mentor, and that's just my line, and I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings or it makes you uncomfortable, but that's my reality. And I remember thinking at that time, I was like, but I can't think every single man is out to get me. That's unfair. It's counterproductive for me to be afraid of men and then discipline every single man I ever interact with, waiting, anticipating that they're going to do something to hurt me. They're going to rape me, they're going to assault me, they're going to pull the rug out from under me and laugh in my face. They're going to like just do something to be better than me. I always thought about it as like, at the time I would think like there's two people in the in a water. You're treading water, and you are trying to beat the person next to you to get to the boat so you have a chance to run away. So you're the one standing on the boat and they're the one in the ocean, because if anything happens, you have the right to run away. Oh, I never had I didn't have that many feelings attached anyway. So yeah, he stopped talking to me, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm gonna leave first because it's easier that way, because it makes me feel more comfortable to have that control or over feeling rejected. So I just remember being in the gym and being like, I'm gonna do it. I think that man over there is beautiful. And I'm gonna tell him that, because what's the worst that's gonna happen? He says, okay, I have a girlfriend. Then I walk away. And what's funny about that is he responded well. I remember my boyfriend melting at the sound of my compliment. Like, I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I think you're really pretty." And I remember seeing his face like melt and his body melt, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I still walked away. And I'm happy I did. I think it's I think it set a precedent for our relationship. Not that he is like a not that he ever would have been a totalitarian boyfriend or maybe authoritative. I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Like, not that he'd ever have been a controlling boyfriend, but I think it really set the precedent of who I was and where I was in my life. And it made it feel more exciting. I felt like I was in a movie. I remember walking away feeling like, wow, like I've already am someone that compliments people like on a day to day basis, but to walk up to a man and use a feminine word like pretty and then have him respond well to it and you just walk away, I felt like I could do anything. I felt so sure of myself, and I left wondering if I would see him again. And I remember looking at the time that I was there and being like, you know what, I'm gonna go again around this time. I'm gonna go a little later than when I came, because I left the gym. I complimented him on my way out and I left. And the next day I went back at the same time that I left, and he happened to go earlier so he could be there. So we went at the same exact time, and we met and we talked, and here we are. And I think about how much I just let myself live, how I got out of my head and I just made the decision and I did it. So that's why I'm here. And that's why I felt I needed to do it right now. My wall isn't finished, but I needed to start because I think if I kept waiting for everything to be in place, for a better microphone than the one I have now that I got off Facebook Marketplace, or a camera setup, or an editing program, or a publisher to be able to post this on Spotify too and not just YouTube, I don't think I ever would have done it. I think I would have kept waiting for the perfect chance to start. And I just don't want to live like that anymore. I want to live knowing that I did everything that I could. And I have so many wants in my life, and I want to do them. Like, it's so shower thought and so stupid, but to me it's crazy. It's like when my boyfriend said, "Okay, well then go to New York and get a tattoo. You have the money for it. It's what a savings account is for." Blew my mind. Blew my mind that people could live like that. That I could live like that. So, I think that I want to have a segment at the beginning of every episode, at either the end or the beginning. Right now, I'm just gonna say it now because it's the first episode, and there's no need to put so many rules for myself because this is supposed to be an expression of myself. And I started this because my community is small for myself, but that's okay. It's tight knit. It's amazing. And unfortunately, my best friend has 2 kids and a life and a boyfriend now, so I only get to see her a little bit. And my boyfriend just moved away to go to university. Granted, he's only an hour and a half away, but not day to day life. I could see him anymore. And my other friends are either also where he is, or they are just busy. It's hard to be 20 or a 20 something because we're all in limbo, or we're all just beginning to start something, an entry level job for experience, or we just graduated, or anything like that. So I wanted to be able to start this so I would have a reason to get dressed once a week, because my job, I wear the same thing every single day, and I get dressed on the weekends to go see my friends or to go see my boyfriend. And so now I need to be aware of the reality that I probably won't see my boyfriend every weekend, or I won't see my friends a lot. I really don't see my friends a lot. I get to see one of my friends, like my best friend, like once a week and all of that. But I need to be aware of reality. And that's why I started this, because when I graduate in May, I'm probably going to get some job that is mind numbing. It's either going to be a job that pays a little bit more and it's someone in the mental health facility, environment, because I'm going for psychology, or it's going to be more childcare experience like I'm working with right now, just to be able to get, because I don't know exactly what I want to do with my degree. So it's like, do I do this so I get more entry level experience to go do this, or do I go over here and then do this and go up? So whatever job it is, it's going to be just like a job. It's not going to be fulfilling. It's not going to be my career. It's going to be a part of it, or it's going to be what what pays the bills, what puts money in my savings account. And that's okay. So I decided that I was going to kind of do some, I can't remember what it's called, like something reduction, risk reduction, or I'm thinking like crime reduction, but it's not that. It's like oh, like, something's gonna happen, so you're kind of working on it now. I'm foreseeing in the very near future that I become very lonely, and I don't want to. I want to continue on this path that I'm at right now with the support that I have, and I don't wanna get in my head to think that I'm all alone because physically I'm alone. I don't need to do that because I am someone who can very happily be alone. Like, I'm not, like, above that. Like, I love my own time, I love my own space. I think I've just gotten kinda used to being around a lot of people, and now I'm like, "Okay, I'm alone now, so I have to start making moves again." But if because in the past, I kinda was hanging out with people to put it off because last semester, I had a pretty heavy semester of classes, and this semester is my graduating semester that I purposely lined up to only take, like, um 4 credits worth of courses, and then I'm in or 5 credits, excuse me, 5 credits of courses, and then I am taking, a TA course to be a TA for 2 professors, and so I have a lighter load, and I kept saying, "Oh, well, in January, I'll do this. In January, I'll do that. In January, I'll do this." So I would kind of give myself more of a reason that I'd have to put it off if I kept keeping myself too busy. So I wanted to do this podcast even if it's just diaries for my future self, just young college diaries because I can't keep a journal anymore out of the convenience of not doing it. I used to take so much time for it. I used to, every morning, 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes writing every single morning, getting it all out. I was doing can't remember that book, the art book that it's like super popular, like the art self-help book of what is that? The Artist's Guide, The Artist's Way, The Artist's Way. Excuse me. The Artist's Way. Just doing that religiously for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months, and I was so empty. Like, yes, I was very healthy, and I was very calm, I per se, but I was so empty. Like I wasn't creating, I wasn't doing anything. I was doing everything by the book, everything perfect. And then I met my boyfriend, and that all went out the window. And I love to joke with them that he's the reason why I stopped doing it. He's the reason why I stopped going to yoga, and I'm not calm anymore. I just to mess with them, but I definitely am more alive now, which I think is why I'm more anxious because I'm just an anxious person at heart. And I think the reason I have gotten so anxious recently is because I'm living and I'm alive and I wasn't before. So instead of doing a journal or doing Substack like I thought about for a while because I have dyslexia and I knew that I was going to get like too worried about typos or saying things in a specific way. Excuse me, or being seen as stupid. So I just decided to do this instead. So here I am. It's just more fitting for me, anyways. Because when I think about my art, I don't think about being like a painter or a drawer, like a whatever you want to call it. Like with, I took one drawing class in my when I was in person at my university, and I loved it. I was really overwhelmed at the time, but I did really love it. But I kind of my sister told me I'm more of like an applied art person, and I definitely agree with that. Like I like doing random bits and bobs of like a bunch of creative things. Like I remember being little and telling myself and promising myself that I was going to be one of those people who was mediocre at a lot of things rather than really good at one thing. And I think I've kept up with that. I think it's really hard to keep up with that because one of my really good friends it well, I say really good friends. I'm not even sure if we are friends anymore. We definitely slightly interact, but not really. Granted, she's a very busy person, so I'm not taking it entirely personally. But when I think about a friend, don't really always think about her. I don't know why I said very good friend, maybe because of how it sounded. But she is like an amazing painter. She's been working on it for her whole life, and she actually even painted this painting over here for me that I paid her to do about 2 years ago. That was what I painted her to make me when my dog passed away. And she's been in galleries, like our university's galleries and other galleries. She's been asked to do things. She's been a part of other things. She's won prizes. It's just stuff like that. And I like look at her and I'm like, I'm nowhere. suck. Oh, I made the wrong call. I should have become really good at one thing. I need to do better. I need to practice every day so I can be good at one thing because I made the wrong call. I should. And it's like, that's not me. I need to take a step back. It's not me. We had totally different life plans, life paths. We had different things that happened to us as children, as we grew up, as paths happened. We had different opportunities. We are not the same person. I can't compare myself to someone who, when it comes to our lives, have nothing comparable. And my life is not bad. Just because her life is successful doesn't mean mine isn't successful. It's successful in her way. And I'm successful in my way. And I'm going to get more successful in my way. And it led to me thinking about a lot of things and a lot of eureka moments and all these like fun, like I like relaxed off myself. Like, and now instead of looking at her and her art and feeling envy, I feel happiness and joy, and it's amazing because that's not who I was. I'm not that person who like wishes who gets jealous like that. Like I wasn't, but it's just because I felt inferior. I felt we were in competition. I felt like she would look at me specifically and think, "Oh, you're doing nothing. You call yourself an artist." But it's like I'm making her mean. I'm making her mean. She's not mean. I'm making her mean. And that's rude to her. It's disrespectful to myself and it's disrespectful to her. I don't know why I went on this tangent, but yeah. So I just need to live. The point is I just need to live. I don't know why I went on a tangent, but I just need to live because I was talking about oh, like all the stuff on my wall. Yeah, so she made me that, and I will put it her handle and stuff in my subscription, my what is that called, description box. Miss Miss Sophie. Yeah, I'll do that. I made this. This was my first ever crochet tapestry. That's why it looks like that. It's my first one, and I let myself be bad. I let myself fuck up. I did. Look at that thing. I did. I made that. My sister actually, she used to work at a laser engraving place, and she came up with this idea for me, and I thought it was really clever. I painted this up there. That's me and my excuse me and my boyfriend. We painted that, or we had our like we both painted on our very first like actual date because we met at the gym. So our first like few hangouts were like at the gym, but our first like real date we went on like a picnic and we painted, and I painted that. This oh my goodness, Five Below, Five Below, Target, yeah. This is also from my sister, and she gave it to me because oh my gosh, she gave it to me because I used to collect like the Yeti Squishmallows. Not so much anymore. I still have them. They're actually I meant to put them out, but I forgot because it's the first episode, and things are gonna ever be changing. Like this wall, that's basically gonna get filled in eventually. But what I was actually talking about, the reason I went on that tangent was because I want to talk about my segment. So I came up with the name Positively Pink and Psychological because pink is clearly my brand. I even have jokes with my friends that there's a specific shade, Karina pink. It's pretty close to this color. It's also magenta, but I like Karina pink better. So I decided to keep this whole P thing going on, like pink, P for pink, and like the alliteration of that. So since there's three P's in my podcast name, I decided to do a 3P pod like segment. Oh my gosh, this is crazy town. And I'm gonna be doing The first project I'm working on. So the project I'm working on is this podcast. That's what I did. I actually just put these all up today because I just got them today. I figured out the lighting and I figured out how I wanted this layout to look. And yeah, that was the project I'm working on. I recently finished a huge, like 19,000 stitch crochet tapestry, so like that, but huge, and for my boyfriend's birthday. And I posted that also on my art account. So I'm also going to put that in the description box down below. Yeah, so that's like the most projects I'm working on. I have some more planned in the future. Like I said, I made this, so this is a past project. I like little random bits and bobs. I don't really like always being predictable. I like being able to just kind of make anything that I want to win. Like looking at it, being like, I want to make that, and then I do. So I just need to get better at being bad at things. Like, granted, like it sounds like I would be okay with that because I'm like, oh, I'm mediocre at everything. So you would think that I would be like, no, like I'm not the best at anything. No, I still treat myself like I need to be. So that's something I'm working on. That's a project I'm working on. And two, person I'm grateful for. That's my second one. I definitely am a more sentimental person, and I definitely kind of post to like the void sometimes, like on my social media, being like, I talk kind of like I'm writing a personal essay or like I'm journaling, but I just talk or I just post like a little mini like few paragraphs or something like that. I guess like a little mini personal essay all the time on like social media social media. And I decided that's why I wanted to do this little segment because I'm definitely someone who's like such a mom who's like thinking of you at like random times to my friends, and I'll be like, oh, how are you doing? Or like, oh my gosh, like what's going on with this? Or like saw this and thought about you. Like I totally send those texts like all the time because I just like think about the people in my life a lot, and I work really hard to be grateful. Like not that I like think that I ever like really was like someone who took things for granted, but I it's like something I'm constantly practicing is like being grateful. Like oh, like I don't know, like everything someone does, I'm like, oh my gosh, like thank you so much, or that's so amazing, think that's perfect. Like I think about things like that. Like nothing is like I try not to be someone who like complains a whole lot, or I don't really talk about my work or anything like that. I kind of just like move on and just like keep going. So I'm like, oh well, now I'm in a new time, or like now I'm after work and I get to do this. Like I'm really grateful to be able to do that, which is why, like I said earlier, like I have time, and that's not what a lot of people can say they have. So I'm constantly practicing being grateful. So that's why I want to have this segment of being able to shout out someone else, because I think that it's really important to build community right now, especially right now because of what's going on in the world, and two, just our generation, like my generation's like problem with the lack of third spaces, the lack of sympathy or empathy, or the issues the issues of therapy speak and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to end this soon. And stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to like take a moment every week to like really call someone out. And it probably will be like the same 5 people, but like that's okay. Okay. This week I really want to shout out my boyfriend, Ignacio, which I know is like so gross, like whatever. So like, oh, called it, you're gonna call your boyfriend out. But I talked to him this past Sunday, and I was like, "Oh, haha, like if I started a podcast, like what would it be about?" And he was like, "I think you would just talk." I was like, "You're brilliant." I'm not even joking. I literally was like, "Oh my god, wow!" Like I'm literally like overthinking my creative expression. Like I wouldn't even think about that. Didn't even think like I could just sit here and talk. Like I don't sit and talk. I don't sit and write. I don't sit and all this shit. Like I had to have someone tell me that because I just overthink everything. And as I was talking to him about, like I said that I was like, oh, we moved on. I left sobbing, crying because he's moved, right, all that stuff. Then after I stopped crying, I'm thinking, and I'm like, I'm like, what if I start a podcast? And I'm starting sending these voice memos to him, talking about all these ideas, coming up with the name, going in like this like flow, creative spirit, all this stuff. Oh my god, I think it was, and he's like excited. He's like, oh my gosh, like yes, this is amazing. This is great. And I wasn't gonna tell people at first. I was just gonna kind of post this and be like, ha da da. But I started to. But he was the first person, and he was the first. I was like, I felt the most safe telling him. And it's not any offense to any other people in my life. It's just my problem of my head and me making people meaner than they really are. But I didn't really get a chance to do that with Ignacio, and I don't ever to because he always is like immediately like yes, always like supportive, always amazing. So I just really want to shout out that behavior, especially because I think it's really easy to accidentally forget how much weight your words have to loved ones, and I think that he always keeps that in mind. So even when he is honest, like brutally honest, like I said earlier about the whole like, oh, you don't live Karina, like you need to do something. I knew he meant it with like so much compassion, and he really did. So I just really wanna appreciate that him. There's like a bunch more I could say about him, but let's not be disgusting. And the last one is protein I'm eating because if you don't know, I am vegetarian. I was pescatarian there for about let's see, I don't know. I just like pick a number sometimes. But for realsies, let's see, 20. Okay, so about 6 years, 5 years, and then I went vegetarian this past like well, no, I guess no. I'm sorry. I was pescatarian for 4 years, and then I turned vegetarian. So now I've been vegetarian for a total. Wow, I'm making this more complicated than it really is. I haven't eaten meat in 6 years. That's the point. I haven't eaten meat in 6 years. I was eating fish, but now I don't. So I want to talk about protein because I used to be a big weightlifter, and when I was a freshman in college, I was accidentally like destroying my body and not eating enough, and I was like literally like what's it called, like emaciated, and it was so bad. So like I moved back home and I learned about how to eat better and like what how to eat when you're like lifting and all that stuff. And so it's been really important to me because I don't weight lift like anymore. And last semester I was like going to the gym, but I pretty much went to the gym just